Welcome back to another video where we will cover the best and worst P2P lending platforms. Today you will learn about the development of lending portfolios from the most popular platforms. We will also cover some of the latest news which will give you a good understanding of the current market conditions. Before we start, keep in mind that this is no investment advice. While the performance of a P2P lending portfolio is directly related to the return and risk that you are taking, P2P lending remains a risky investment and things can change quickly. The number of attractive investment opportunities in the European P2P lending market is shrinking, so it's now more important than ever to monitor the latest events to make wise investment decisions. In this table, you can see the development of the outstanding portfolio and the funds in recovery for some of the popular European platforms. If you are new here, you should know that the outstanding portfolio represents the current size of the loan book under management. The funds in recovery represent the defaulted loans from suspended lenders or borrowers. The funds in recovery ultimately increase the risk and decrease the liquidity as well as the potential return on specific P2P lending platforms. This means that if you want to maximize your chances of earning the advertised returns, you will want to make sure to invest on platforms with as low default rate as possible. However, there are other variables that you should consider, which we will cover later in this video. Let's first discuss the recent changes in portfolio amount and portfolio quality. Mintos remains the largest player on the market with close to 600 million euro of loans under management. Last month, we saw an increase of outstanding portfolio and decrease in funds in recovery by about 2 million. Remember that Mintos still has over 140 million of investors' funds in default. Some of the funds will eventually be written off, like it's been the case for selected lenders in Russia, Ukraine, Spain, Poland, Indonesia's Cashwagon, whose founder is now raising funds on another platform called Launch. Mintos has also recently added new notes for its real estate portfolio and announced a monthly fee for investors who use the core loans, high yield and conservative portfolios. Estate Guru is the second largest platform when considering the outstanding portfolio amount. The assets under management decreased slightly last month while the total amount of defaulted loans increased. There has been no change in recoveries from Germany. Based on Estate Guru's blog post, the platform recovered a total of 14.85 million euro last year. This would be around 39% of the recovery goal set by the CEO in early 2024. The secondary goal was to decrease the funds in the recovery to under 100 million, which was not reached either. In January 2024, the platform reported 128 million in defaults. Currently, the defaulted amount is higher at 133 million, so in total, the defaulted amounts increased year over year. As you can learn in Estate Guru's blog post, the platform continues to focus on communicating news about its portfolios from 2023 and 2024, mostly disregarding all the poor risk management in the past, causing over 130 million euro of investors' funds to default. The goals for 2025 regarding the recoveries are basically non-existent. The platform wants to ensure that effective recoveries remain their top priority as they continue to safeguard portfolio's quality. This type of announcement has really no value to most impacted investors. As you can read, there are no clear goals from the management about how much they want to recover. However, they are clear about their goals to issue more loans in 2025 and increasing their profit. If you would like to share your opinion about the state of Estate Guru right now, do so in the comments below. You can be certain that their management is reading it. Moving on to Peerberry. The outstanding portfolio decreased last month while maintaining a very high portfolio quality. The platform started listing loans from Nigeria with minimal loan volumes. If you have been researching Peerberry, you must know that its risk management follows a conservative approach, especially after it repaid all war-affected loans from Russia and Ukraine. The conservative risk approach impacts the loan volumes the lenders fund through Peerberry investors. Experienced investors are aware that there is a limit to which a lender can grow in a specific market. Established lenders must diversify their funding sources while controlling the cost of capital. Due to the high demand from investors and lower supply of loans at the moment, The platform recently lowered the interest rates to below 10%. If you want to reach double-digit returns from P2P loans, you would need to invest more than 40,000 euro or simply invest on another platform. While many investors might not be happy with the current performance of Peerberry, it has established itself as the safest platform in the industry, repaying over 50 million euro of war-affected loans in less than 3 years. An achievement that even the largest platform Mintos could not match. Peerberry is currently the platform with the best portfolio quality, followed by Robocash, Esketit, Indemo, Inrento and Pintown. As is the case on Peerberry, the outstanding portfolio amounts also decreased on Robocash and Esketit. Due to its high portfolio quality, the demand for investment remains high. This is also why we see both platforms lowering the interest rates. On Robocash, you will be able to earn 10.5% if you invest in long-term loans. You can increase this return if you invest more than 20 or 50,000 euro. You can see similar developments on Esketit, where newly listed Jordan loans will come with a lower interest rate. While the top platforms struggle with low loan availability, there are a few outliers that still managed to increase their portfolios last month, and Indemo is one of them. The platform increased its assets under management to 7.1 million euro while repaying the first debt in 2025 with an average yield of 21%. The platform also announced a 1.4% instant cashback campaign on all new investments. For more details, you can review our P2P bonus page on P2P Empire. While only slightly, Inrento also managed to increase its portfolio amount. While the loan availability is limited and new loans are funded fast, the platform's performance remains stable. Pintown also increased its outstanding portfolio by raising funds for its new development project in Costa Rica, which we have covered in a separate video. For investors who don't want to earn 15% on a development loan but prefer stable monthly interest payments, Pintown offers investments in already operational rental units at a lower rate. Income Marketplace also increased its portfolio. The platform released a report about its portfolio development in 2024 with some interesting statistics. The relatively stable portfolio performance and low default rate, coupled with higher interest rates, are some of the reasons why investors increase their portfolio amounts on this platform. Capitalia's performance remains stable, however, the loan availability is also limited as loans get funded quickly. Lande's portfolio decreased slightly last month while maintaining a default rate below 10%. Many loans are getting funded quickly and the loan availability has been seemingly lower than a few months ago. However, if you set up your auto-invest, chances are that you will be able to deploy your capital in 2 or 3 days. Let's now move to the platforms with a default rate of more than 10%, one of which is seemingly Debitum. On their statistics page, this platform claims that it has funded 117 million and repaid 100 million, which would mean that its outstanding portfolio is somewhere around 17 million euro. However, on one of their recent blog posts, they mentioned that they manage over 27 million euro worth of assets with a 0% default rate. So there is clearly a discrepancy between the actual portfolio amounts. Additionally, they claim that the Debitum has a 0% default rate is a lie, which isn't surprising if you're familiar with Debitum's history. The platform's management has been deceiving investors from the start. In its early days, Debitum raised over 17 million US dollars for its crypto token. Those funds were supposed to be used to build a platform and provide benefits for initial backers. Both promises were not fulfilled and the money disappeared. Years later, a new management bought the platform and released itself from the responsibility for the DEP token. In 2025, the management claims to issue secured and consistent investment opportunities and claims the following.
Our success in growing the investor base comes down to trust and accessibility. We worked hard to build credibility through transparent communication and maintaining a track record of 0 defaults.
Truth is that the only reason why Debitum grew its portfolio is due to the excessive cashback bonuses and lies about its portfolio quality. The suspended lender from Ukraine, Chain Finance, has not repaid this debt to investors. To our knowledge, at least 1.7 million euro of investors' funds from this lender are still defaulted. Moving on to Crowdpeer, where the outstanding portfolio decreased. If you have been investing on the platform, you have likely noticed that several loans have been repaid lately, Unfortunately, the number of new loan listings was limited in recent weeks, which we experienced across multiple platforms. While the default rate on CrowdPeer appears higher, the actual amount hasn't changed over the past month. Twino, on the other hand, reports an increase in its outstanding portfolio. Unfortunately, their communication is a little bit of a joke. Public updates regarding their defaulted lenders are sparse. To our knowledge, over 6 million euro of investors' funds are in default. Twino gambled with investors' funds for a long time. We reported about the platform's incompetency already in December 2023. In April 2024, Twino announced that it was suspending its lending operations in Vietnam and the Philippines. Last month, investors who invested in Twino's loans from Vietnam received a private email from their platform confirming that the lender in Vietnam has defaulted and that the likelihood of recovering the remaining funds is uncertain. The only public information the platform released is in its blog post, where they shared that the recovery of funds is ongoing. In addition to that, last year at least one investor was defrauded on Twino. Someone accessed his account, sold all the investments and withdrew everything. Only then did Twino implement advanced security measures. This type of information is not publicly communicated to the community, which is why it's so crucial to stay informed about the latest developments and do your own due diligence. The biggest hypocrisy is also the alliance that some platforms, including Twino and Debitum, joined in Latvia. The goal is to set new benchmarks for trust, transparency, and innovation in the fintech industry. Maybe a good first step would be to stop lying about its default rate and refrain from deceptive marketing statements. Moving on to Heavy Finance, which did not report any progress on recoveries. There's no real progress on Reinvest24 either. The platform shared some information about the legal battles in Moldova, with no real solution in sight. Additionally, the platform did not even mention the recoveries in other markets or why they are not processing the withdrawal requests. The rest of the platforms in this table don't share much performance-oriented information. Some of them are black boxes, which most conservative investors should avoid. The biggest issue in the industry is currently the lack of available investments on top platforms. We are currently in the low lending season, meaning most established lenders don't need additional funding from P2P investors, but can fund most of their loan books on their own. The loan volumes are expected to pick up again at the end of the summer. This means that investors should not expect significantly larger loan volumes on top platforms like Peerberry, Robocash, or Askgetit in the near future. Investors who prioritize investments in short-term loans on the mentioned platforms will have difficulty deploying more funds or reinvesting their returned principal. We will therefore see investors pivoting to other platforms. Only a few platforms have a default rate of below 10% and a decent loan availability. Most of those options are suitable for more experienced investors who can assess risks and understand the terms. The cash drag issue plays well into the cards of the remaining market players who can now capture attention from investors who cannot invest on top platforms. This can be, however, a double-edged sword, and many investors who lack the experience or simply knowledge might get burned. Platforms that lack real transparency, are run by shady management, or have a track record of breaching terms and conditions may not be worth the risk for most educated investors. Unfortunately, most investors don't know what they don't know and don't question many of the sources used on the internet. There is really only a handful of platforms that have a somewhat reasonable risk and return ratio that you should consider. For more information, you can visit P2P Emperor and study individual platforms in our review section. Our rating on P2P Emperor strongly correlates with the portfolio quality of a dedicated platform, and we don't change it if a platform has a lower loan supply. This means that while the loan performance may be great, you may not be able to invest due to cash drag. Instead, you can consider a small number of alternatives or simply invest elsewhere. There is really no reason to gamble your money on platforms where the risk and return ratio is not right. So that's been a quick update from the industry. If you have found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.